there, everybody. I'm Lisa Saliture, and I am from Pets with a Purpose, helping you find your life journey along with your pets. We all have life lessons to learn from them, and they come into our lives basically because we have a contract with them. Before our lives start, we basically have a soul contract, and today's discussion is going to be about how our mood, our thoughts, and the stresses that we carry in our life actually affect our pets' well-being in many ways. And I find this important on our journey with our pets as we're learning lessons. There are some lessons that we don't want to have to learn just because of our own issues, dealing with stresses and angers and how we bring that into the home with our pets. And believe it or not, your anger in the home, your negative thoughts, your stresses all affect your pets in many ways. Our pets are basically a reflection of us, just like in any relationship. So therefore, if you are arguing a lot in your home, say with your husband or your kids, or you're just angry and stressed and you do this all the time, your pet is basically going to feel your stress. And eventually, we all have that flight or flight response in life, or stress enough. We either want to flight, which means get the heck out and run, or we fight and we, push against it. So with that part of our brain, we actually release cortisol from a couple of our glands, our adrenal glands, and one of our other glands, which I can't think of the name of right now. Regardless of that, if you're undergoing a lot of stress, and the same is true with your pet, if you're constantly going through stress, or you're feeling fear, you will release a lot of cortisol into your body. And when you do that, it's not good. Basically, it can lead to diseases such as Cushing's disease, and that can happen to your pet as well. It can lead to all kinds of issues in your body, malfunctions, immune diseases, and therefore you are also causing your pet to go through that same fight or flight function in the body where the glands will release cortisol. Now, this is just one example of how we affect our pets. I mean, there are many, many more. And I think this video today is important just to get us thinking about, even if, say, you had an anxiety, some sort of anxiety that you were dealing with day in and day out, and you overreacted all the time because this is an issue that you have internally. Your pet is going to pick up on that. And eventually this leads to behavioral issues where they start acting out to get your attention from the stress. B, they can have their own emotional issues starting to show themselves where they're showing fears, being scared. And again, that's releasing the cortisol. And the other one can be even illnesses. Our pets can actually get sick and die from diseases caused from our stress. So it's super important that we take self-care and self-love for ourselves before we're even in a relationship with a pet. So, I mean, we're all guilty of this. We all come home stressed out. We're too busy to pay attention to our pets. That even alone, if you're on your computer all the time ignoring your pet, that's causing them a lot of stress, okay? So I guess my thought is here, what are you doing in your life right now to provide yourself with self-love and self-care so that in any relationship in your life, whether it be your husband, your boyfriend, your best friend, your mom, your pet, you are full of love for yourself. Therefore, you are better for everybody involved. And we've heard this philosophy before. So it also is true for our pets in such a big way. First of all, their lives are short to begin with compared to ours. So their bodies are going to them. Okay. So if we're putting them through, say, a state where we're arguing all the time with our husband or our children, we can all do that, sure, once in a while. But if you're constantly doing it, for like a year or more, and not, taking your pet's health into account, how they're dealing with this, you'll notice how they react. They sometimes go and hide. They sometimes put their ears down. some bark, but it will cause, I mean, even behavioral issues. Sometimes you'll start noticing that they're acting out and they're starting to be stressed out. So they're doing anything they can to get your attention, like chewing up things. And we're not talking puppies here. We're talking, or kittens or anything like that. We're talking adult pets that start acting out for your attention, for your love. All of that is a result of us. So it's important, of course, to take the time for yourself, make sure that you have time for you as often as possible, whether that be through meditation, just having some quiet time, taking time to read a book, taking some deep breaths every day. If you have time to meditate, that's even better. And then you'll have more time for your pet and the people in your lives. Also, exercise is key for us. Taking an hour or less of your time to do good for your body, not only emotionally and physically. They're both key components of working out and getting exercise, whatever that means for you. It could be walking. It could be taking a class somewhere. It could be working out at home with some weights. It could be just about anything. Yoga, whatever works for you. This is going to help your pet. And on the same end of that, let's not forget that our pets need a lot of exercise, depending on what kind of pet you have. If you have a canine, for instance, they're going to need two types of exercise. They're going to need physical exercise daily, but they're also going to need, for instance, mind games, so to speak, where you're playing with them, you're engaging with them. Maybe you're hiding treats around the house and making them, search for them. Same is true of cats. Now, you might not take your cat for a walk. If you can do that, that's cool. But you're going to need to play and engage with them daily. Getting back to dogs and horses, for instance, you're going to mainly need to walk them daily. So you two can get your exercise together, but let's not forget, our animals react if they do not get exercise, and that's a fact. They need socialization and they need exercise, and that's something to keep in mind every day. If you can't do it yourself, I recommend hiring somebody to come into your house, and like a pet walker, somebody that wants to come in and play with your pets. That's something I would recommend. It doesn't have to be that expensive. Another option is for dogs, especially, there's doggy daycare. I bring mine 3 days a week because he is a German Shorthair Pointer. He has high energy. So, I do play with them as much as I can when he is here with me, but I work from home. So it's good for him to get into socializing with his kind and being really active with his kind, because there's no way I'd be able to give him the kind of exercise he's getting in that environment. Okay. If you like to bike or rollerblade or paddleboard, maybe not paddleboard, but kayaking, take your pet with you. If you have a pet that can come along with you, let them engage with you in exercise. If the two of you can do it together, it's even better. Or just a walk every day is phenomenal for your mind, body, and spirit, for both you and your dog. And that's the component here I wanted to mention, is the mind, body, and spirit of yourself coexists right along with the mind, body, and spirit of your pet. So whatever self-love and self-care you give to you, it's going to make you better mind, body, and soul for your pet. And that is step one in understanding your journey in this lifetime with your pets and what your pet is trying to teach you. Again, like I'm saying, those are not the lessons like I want to focus on personally, is like, oh, my dog suffered his entire life because, I was stressed all the time and I had panic attacks, or I didn't take care of me, or my relationships with the other humans in the house. And, I can personally say that looking back, there probably were times where one of my dogs, who passed away of Cushing's disease, as a matter of fact, dealt with some arguments in the house with different people I had dated long term. I had him for 14 years, so he did deal with that. And I think eventually it did take a toll on him. The cortisol was released in his body. And I can tell you from my experience, we want to be as healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually as we can, so that our pets are receiving that from us and they're not engaging in this kind of stress daily. And even for ourselves, this is so very important for our own health. Is, when you're undergoing stress and negative thoughts all the time, and we are bombarded in our society with a lot of crap these days, okay? From, your cell phone. You're close to your cell phone all day, and you're getting a frequency just from that. Okay, we've got our tablets, our computers, our Wi-Fi bouncing everywhere, and now we're going to start dealing with 5G, which is like having an antenna every 200 feet, from your house, and that's 24 hours a day, and that's like a microwave radiation. So we have to really have a positive attitude nowadays as we're muddling through life and trying to stay positive, because we've got a lot to live up to with our pets. They're a huge responsibility. Cats, for instance, are very self-reliant, but yet they still need a lot of love, attention, and exercise mentally and physically. These are things we all need to take into account, and we need to start thinking about our pets in a whole new way. How we live our life and how we treat ourselves directly affects our pets. So that's today's lesson from me. I hope this helps you, and there are tools that we can use actually to look at the energy in your pet and yourself, and look for blockages, negative feelings and fears from this lifetime or a past lifetime even. And we can actually align that energy using tools to remove things from this lifetime and the past. Make sure that you're consistently removing negative blockages, energies from yourself, your space, and your pet. By the way, this is all possible, and this is something that I do offer. And if you are interested, hit that subscribe button and put something in the comments for me. And there's a lot of ways that I'm going to be covering all of this in the future with you in weekly posts and videos. And catch us on our Facebook group, our Facebook page, which I'm going to put below. So thank you for listening, and love your pet and yourself. Self-care and self-love, so important. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.